Plaintiff Summer LaRue says while she was pregnant with the defendant's child, he went to jail and didn't get out until their son was 9 months old. Upon his release, Summer claims the defendant became physically abusive and started stalking her, and he was convicted 5 times of domestic violence against her. Summer suing for the cost of a car. Defendant Donald Bigelow says before Summer got pregnant with their second child, she cheated on him with his good friend. So after the baby was born, he had to take a paternity test to determine whether or not he was the father. He's countersuing for malicious prosecution.
Start with you.
I met Donnie in 2005. I got pregnant right away. He went to jail and didn't get out of jail until our son was 9 months old. Pretty much from that point on, he has made my life a nightmare. He threatens me, he stalks me, he harasses me, he's threatened to kill me. He tells me...
Back up a little. When he came home from jail, did you all begin dating?
Yes, we did.
Okay. And he immediately began doing what?
As soon as he got out of jail, he began accusing me of cheating on him all the time. He started verbally abusing me. He started pushing me around. He started smacking me. And pretty much from there on out, our relationship was a nightmare.
Okay. And he hadn't been around but a couple of months.
Correct.
You all dated for a couple of months.
Correct. We dated for
Had
a couple of months.
Had a baby immediately?
Yep.
So then he went away?
Yes, he did.
So when he came back, why did you stay with him if he was abusing you like that?
Before he went to jail, our relationship was pretty good.
You'd only been for 2 months.
Yeah, well, for the few months that we were together, it was good.
But that's my point. So you were only really with him for 2 months. Why did you accept so much abuse after only having been with the man for 2 months?
I had a baby with him, and I really wanted us to be a family. Nobody in my family goes through divorces. Everybody's married still.
But you all weren't married.
No, we were not married.
Right. That was your choice. So I guess I'm just trying to make a point. Most points I make are for the audience and the viewers so that it kind of, they don't make these same mistakes. How long did you stay with him?
We were together until 2009.
Okay, so go ahead.
And then in 2008 is when I actually got pregnant with our second child. We weren't together that entire time. In 2009...
Were you pregnant by him, though?
Yes.
So you all weren't together the entire time, but yet you got pregnant by him.
All right, maybe I'll start this from the beginning. Okay, I met him in 2005.
Let's go ahead.
Got pregnant. We went to jail for a year, came home. We tried working things out. We tried to be a family. I got pregnant with our second child. And then in 2009, that's when I finally had enough of the abuse. I went and got a protective order. He was stalking me. He was following me. He kept texting me, harassing me. I have numerous police reports with me showing all the times that he called me. They're not lies. And basically...
How many police reports?
Right now, I have 15 different police reports with me. From the end of 2010 until the middle of 2011.
Alleging what?
That he called harassing me. He called and told me that he would break my jaw, that he would knock my teeth down my throat.
Okay. What did the police do?
He has been convicted several times of domestic battery, intimidation.
Against you, obviously?
Against me for domestic battery. He's
been
convicted for, yes.
Several times?
Yes.
What years?
Basically from, there were incidences in 2008.
Huh?
There was an incident from 2008.
He was arrested?
Yes, he was.
And convicted?
Yes, he was.
One in 2008. What else?
There were a few in 2009.
He was convicted?
Yes, he was. Yes, sir.
3, a few.
Yes.
Tell me
then in 2011, he was convicted. And
just once, obviously.
Yes. And then he recently just got out of jail for abusing his current girlfriend.
All right, we're talking about you. How many years did he spend in jail after assaulting you in 2009?
I think he spent, Your Honor, he's been in jail so many times since I've met him in 2005. I can't
For abusing
keep track.
you?
For abusing me, for abusing other people.
No, we're talking about these convictions, ma'am. I'm trying to understand what type of court of law you were in that would allow a man to assault you in '08, and then within 1 year, assault you 3 more times, different times, right?
Correct.
And still be on the street.
I would like
And then
to know
assault
the
you
same
again
thing.
in 11.
I would like to know the same thing because I felt like the
That
prosecutor wasn't
09,
doing
certainly
enough.
by that 4th one, he should have been in prison for years.
He should have been.
And then a 5th one in 11? Sir, what do you have to say about that?
Well, Your Honor, Summer is painting a pretty bad picture. I mean, it's not me. I'm not abusive towards her.
Were you convicted 5 times of domestic violence against her?
I don't believe it was 5 times, but
How many?
there has been a couple convictions,
Just 2?
2 or 3.
Okay. So you sound like you don't know for sure.
Right.
She's very certain, so I'm going to go with her certainty. Let's see the police reports, please, Doyle. And you say you're not a bad guy.
He called harassing me. He called and told me that he would break my jaw, that he would knock my teeth down my throat.
What did the police do?
He has been convicted several times of domestic battery,
you?
intimidation
Against you, obviously.
against me.
Plaintiff Summer LaRue dated the defendant, and she claims he was physically abusive and was convicted 5 times of domestic violence against her.
What else you want me to do?
Well, Your Honor, since 2005, we were together. In 2005, she got pregnant immediately. We had a kid, and then, like, just since then, since about 2007, it's been nothing. It's just been chaotic, a bunch of problems. There was a point in time on our second child, she ended up sleeping with one of my good friends. I had to get a DNA test on
Your
my
Honor,
daughter.
that's not true. He got a DNA test because he told me he couldn't have
Let him finish.
girl babies.
You had to turn to talk. Can I speak now? So anyways, I had to get a DNA test to prove that the child was mine, because neither one of us knew if it was mine or if it was my friend's. So that's
What
where.
year was that?
What year was that? 2008.
Go ahead.
And then, I mean, after that, things just got crazy between both of us. And then she would get mad at me and we'd get into arguments. And I mean, she would hit me too, you know what I mean? And
Okay.
I would never.
But she was never convicted.
Your Honor, I never hit him.
Let's get to the cost of the car you're suing him for, ma'am.
Yes. In February of 2011, I purchased my Buick LeSabre. And on March 31st of 2011 is when my car was totaled out. I was driving and I had a male passenger in the car with me. He happened to be out in the neighborhood, the same area I was in. He starts hitting the side of my car. He cut me off and slammed on his brakes. I slammed on my brakes, so I wouldn't rear-end him. And as I'm on the phone with the 911 operator, I'm trying to read.
How did you do that when you were behind
Quiet,
the
sir.
I was trying to read his plate number off to the 911 operator, and as I'm trying to read his plate number to the operator, he gets out of his vehicle, he grabs a cinder block, throws it through my windshield. I backed my car into a fire hydrant trying to get away from him. The cops told me it was the 911 operator, told me to meet the cops. It was about a mile down the road. I met with the cops, and even during the meeting with the cops, Donnie was calling my cell phone, calling me names, running his mouth to me, and the officer even spoke to him on the phone when the incident happened.
What was the result? Was he charged?
Yes, he was.
Convicted?
He was found guilty in August of 2012, and he was sentenced to 1 year in jail. He got out of jail, and then that's when he basically started dating this other girl, and this year went to jail and was found guilty on charges against her.
Yeah. I mean, maybe the courts are waiting on him to murder one of these women.
I've had numerous
Yeah, what court? Where are you
officers tell
on?
me
What
that.
city are you from?
South Bend.
South Bend, Indiana?
Yes.
And that's the way they treat you ladies?
I've had
Is to
numerous.
have a guy admittedly convicted 3 times for domestic violence. Now you'd say 5, and the last of which threatened your life, probably all of them. But he also battered another woman that he's been convicted of recently after coming right out of jail?
He's a living nightmare. And
No,
that's all I can say.
the justice system is a living nightmare. In South Bend, whoever these judges were, that is ridiculous. 5 strikes, 1 year or so, give or take. That's just you.
Yeah,
Not even the other.
Yeah, that doesn't include all his past previous girlfriends that have filed reports against him.
More than the one after you.
Yes.
There were some before you.
Yes.
All right, let me hear your side.
I mean, to take you back to March of 2011, what had actually happened was, yes, I seen her on the road. Me and one of my friends were going to another one of our friends to play cards. I'm sitting at this intersection, and
You were not at an intersection.
Let him finish, ma'am. Just let him do his thing.
Okay.
wait for the traffic to go by so I can cross the street. Well, I'm sitting at the stop sign. At this time, me and someone were supposed to be working things out. She drives by with this other guy in the car that she previously had cheated on me with, also from Florida. So anyways, I turned left on the street and I pulled up next to her car and we're driving down the street. She's behind a semi, and I rolled my window down and I flipped them off. You know what I mean? I yelled some stuff out the window, and then I just passed her up. Continued going to my friend's house that we were going to in the first place, and next thing I know, someone's following me. So what happens is, where I was going, it was on a one-way street. You can't park on the one-way street. You have to park in the back of the house. So I had to pull through the alley to get to park behind the house, and next thing I know, Summer and this guy's back there. So I start walking up to the car to confront Summer and this guy, and next thing I know, Summer tries to run me over. At that point, I pretty much jumped off of her car. I get back up, and by that time, she puts her car in reverse, and she's flying out the alley. She does a 360 and hits a fence in reverse. So then at that time, she got off the fence. She put her car in reverse and went flying down the road, ended up in somebody's yard. At that time, while she's driving in reverse through this yard, she hits a tree stump. She sideswipes a telephone pole. She knocks a stop sign out of the ground, and she hits a fire hydrant and severs the fire hydrant. And after that, she went to Walmart and called the police. Now I'm still at this house that she followed me to. I had no contact with the police that night. I never talked to the police or anything about it. A few weeks later, I got a subpoena in the mail to go to misdemeanor court for these allegations that Summer is making against me.
That's it? That was the end of that?
Yes.
Subpoena, and that's it. It's
Your
all
Honor.
ended since then. I'm trying to understand what type of court of law you were in that would allow a man to assault you in 2008 and then within 1 year assault you 3 more times. Different times, right?
Correct.
And still be on the street.
I would like
And then
to know the
assault
same
you again
thing.
in 11.
Plaintiff Summer LaRue dated the defendant, and she claims he was physically abusive and was convicted 5 times of domestic violence against her.
Nothing else.
No, I mean, I went to court.
There
and,
you go. And what happened?
I went to court. I took it to trial because I figured I would have it beat. I had 2 eyewitnesses. I didn't speak to the police that night, and somehow I got convicted and found guilty. So
Somehow. Okay. So have you ever been ordered for a psychiatric evaluation by the court?
no,
Okay. I think you should have been. These repeated offenses of violence. Have you ever been ordered for anger management?
yeah, I've taken anger
How many
management
times?
once.
How about the other 4 times? They didn't order you the other times, huh? Just
No.
once. Out of all these convictions, you've only been ordered. See what I'm talking about, the justice system you're dealing with there?
Yes, I
I
do.
hope they're watching. I hope they're listening. Man convicted 5 times. Gets anger management once. Never a psychiatric evaluation. I believe just by your testimony and the evidence I see that you have a psychiatric problem. Something's wrong. People don't do that. That is abnormal behavior. They give anger management, teach you how to manage your anger, but if you do it over and over and over the same thing and you get convicted of the same thing over and over and over, dealing with violence, that's a psychiatric problem. What are you suing her for? Malicious prosecution for $5,000, meaning she made up things and it ended in your favor, meaning you won the case.
Okay, well, obviously,
Tell me what case you won.
I didn't win that case.
Tell me what case you won. Any.
I haven't.
All right, so your claim is dismissed. Malicious prosecution is only for folks who weren't convicted. And then you must prove that there was no probable cause for them to make the complaint. And just because you're not convicted doesn't mean there wasn't probable cause. Your claim is dismissed and yours is granted. Good luck to you. He needs prison and treatment. Have a good day.
I mean, I don't really know what to say. You always get your way into court. What happened in court today, I mean, I can't do nothing about it. It's just crazy that you keep doing this to me.
I'm not doing anything to you. You shouldn't destroy other people's property and you shouldn't abuse women. So finally, I'm getting justice.
No, all your false accusations finally caught up.
I'm not the
with me,
only
so.
woman that you've abused. You just got out of jail for beating up your girlfriend.
You don't know what you're talking about.